Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Welcome back to another energy reading for the week of June 7th, 2021. We are getting into June. It's well into the summer. It's funny because I usually want to savor every part of June and July. Because I find these are the 2 months that go by super quickly, and it's just like blink of an eye and they're done. So consciously this year, I'm going to soak up as much as I possibly can, as humanly possible. Let's just say that, right? Because it's important to really soak up all of the good stuff, right? And yeah, that's what it's all about. So before we get into today's reading, I just wanted to go over the announcements. So this week, again, I launched another great podcast. It's all about shadow work. Shadow work is like the most necessary part of anything that we do, right? So for those of you watching live or the replay, let me know, what is your take on shadow work? When you think of shadow work or doing the inner work, right? Like, what comes to mind? It's very interesting because that answer that you give really shows the level of resistance that you have to it, which is very interesting. It's an observation that I've been making over time. I've noticed it in myself, I've noticed it in my clients, and so I decided to bring on a guest. We talked all about shadow work. We talked about her shadow work and what she went through, and just touched on it in a very unique kind of way. So that podcast is available as episode 13 with Jolene O'Brien. And yeah, so we're actually looking at doing another podcast again together, all about the Kundalini awakening, which is going to be really cool. So that's to come. It's coming. But yeah, it's just kind of tuning into that other part of you. And I think the most hardest part of when you're thinking about shadow work and you think about okay, well, what is it that I need to clear? And you get into it a little bit, you kind of touch the surface, but then your brain is like, we've never been here before. We don't know what's on the other side. Don't go, right? It's like this big warning. And then we tend to just kind of freeze, right? And if you don't have the right kind of support or the right kind of guidance to kind of get you over that hump, you're never going to really clear it, right? So that's important. That's really important to do, and to just be aware of too. That's a big thing too. And the hardest part is it comes up because you've just never done it before. You've never walked in that space. You've never went that far before. So it seems scary because in the brain or ego, right? It kind of jumps in. It's like, this is unknown. So stop. We don't know what's going on here. And anything is unknown is equals death to the ego or to the brain, right? So you kind of nurture it along and say, I'm okay. I got this, right? And just move through it. That's basically it. And the more that you understand it, the quicker it heals. That's the thing. That's what I found out on my own journey, is that the more and more I was willing to dive deep into those scary corners was the most healing I've ever had in my entire life. And I didn't do it alone. No, I tried to, but I was, that again, I found that it was a lot easier when I did it with somebody who went just before me, right? So that's something to consider. And that brings me to my coaching spot. So right now I do have a couple coaching spots available. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're looking at doing your own shadow work or stepping through it, that's the thing, is when you clear all of the baggage that you've been carrying around, you open yourself up to a lot of new things and a lot better things. So if you, say for example, are growing your own business online, right? You're stepping into a place and you're finding it hard and you're coming up against walls and things are just not kind of going as smoothly as you hoped that would. It's because there's something inside of you there's a thought, there's a story, there's a pattern, there's something that's getting in the way. And not until you clear it within you is when it'll get cleared within your business, which is so crazy. And that is something that I've been learning all along this whole entire journey, right? So definitely wanted to bring that to your awareness. Just be aware of it, right? And if that's something that you're interested in, definitely let me know. Reach out to me. I'm going to be booking consultations all next week and the next coming weeks. So definitely let me know. So when I tapped into the energies this week, so what I do is I kind of go into like meditation a little bit, in this light meditation, and I tap in and I ask the guides and angels, say, hey, okay, so what is it that we need to be aware of this week? What is it that's going to help us move through the energies a lot more smoother, a lot more easier, right? And another thing that I asked was, what actually needs to be healed this week? Now, one thing I want to let you know about the universe is the second you ask for anything, the universe is working on it. Jumps right on it and starts lining up all of the things that is going to take you to where you want, right? To bring in that manifestation. That includes all of the junk that you're not willing to see right now. So it's going to come up so that you can clear it, so you can move past it, and then it doesn't get in the way from the manifestation or the thing that you very well asked for, right? So just be aware of that when we're asking for things. And so when I asked what needs to be healed this week, that's kind of what came up, was all of the heavy stuff. It's like asking you to pay attention to, what have you been dragging with you this entire time? Really tune into the heaviest stuff right now. You don't have to fix it or, work through it. All you have to do is just notice it. Just notice, how heavy is this stuff that you're carrying, whether it's a situation, a memory, a trauma, some painful moment in your life that you relive over and over again from just thinking about it or telling people about the experience, right? Reliving it that way. That's another way that we do that. It's just tuning into the baggage, the heavy stuff, and really getting curious about it. Be like, why have I been carrying this around? What is it serving? What is it allowing me to do? Because we only carry stuff that we think that has a purpose, right? So it's just kind of tuning into it and just understanding, it's like, well, is this really working for me anymore? Is this doing anything for me? If not, well, maybe it's something that, you don't need to stuff down anymore, and you can just kind of find that part of you, inside of you, that's carrying it. Because that's the thing, energy moves through emotions. Emotions are energy, right? So we store that energy in our bodies, and we can easily find, if you really tune into that heaviness, you can really tune into it and find it and be like, okay, well, this hasn't been working for me anymore. I'm going to clear it. And even just setting the intention and then letting it go is enough to get that ball rolling. That's it. Intentions are the most powerful things. Powerful. So powerful. I tell my clients that all the time because it's super crazy that just intentions, what you intend to do and putting it out there, the universe grabs a hold of that. It hears your intentions, right? So just be aware. So what needs to be healed, all it is just being aware of those heavy parts and picking it apart and seeing which ones you can let go of right now. So you can clear it up. Because then when you clear that up, then you can really tune into higher vibrations, higher forms of energy, higher ways of being, of living, of experiencing life, right? So when you tune into the higher frequencies, you're pulling in things like love and compassion and joy and gratitude and understanding. And you get into this place where you're like, okay, this is like the momentum. And all it takes is 17 seconds to build momentum for any thought. And then after 17 seconds, another thought will start to form and attach to that. So just think about that for a second. How much of your time are you spending on thoughts that don't serve you? Right? Every 17 seconds, there's a new thought forming and attaching to that old thought, right? So just being aware of this. And another study that scientists have done is noticed that 80% of all of our thoughts are negative. And we have anywhere from 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day, right? All of those thoughts, if 80% of those are negative, what kind of energies are you attracting, right? And that's what this is all about. That's what these energies or readings are all about. It's just tuning into the energies, paying attention and being aware of the vibrations that you're pushing out so that you know what you're attracting back to you, right? So powerful. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. It's just energy exchange. It's like that boomerang effect. What you give out, you come back, right? So if you know that 80% of your thoughts have been negative up until this point, what would it take to get that 80% down to 70%? Right? Just change 10% of those thoughts. Just change the trajectory. Even if you change it 1% every single time, like every day, you go in and you change a thought 1% in 1 year, every day you change it 1%, you have 365 opportunities to make that 80% negative thoughts go down to 70, go down to 60, maybe go down to 50, right? Imagine what it would be like if you had 50% negative thoughts, 50% positive thoughts. What would your life be like? What would that be like? What would that be like? What if it was even like 40%, right? Like push that down a little bit more. Like you're opening up so much more for yourself, right? It's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to tune into the cards. We want to bring in more love and compassion, gratitude, understanding, joy, peace, all of the good vibes this week, right? We want to start flying high. We want to start going and letting our balloon rise without the bricks attached to it, right? So in order to do that, I'm going to bring up my sacred geometry deck. We're going to tap into that energy, see what energies in our bodies, in our etheric body, in our astral body, in our physical body. We have causal body. Like there's all these different layers of our aura, right? So all of those layers, as soon as they start working in harmony together and in and unifying and getting into this place of, maybe you are switching your thoughts to 60% negative instead of 80% negative, right? What is that like? Let's get into that. So what do we need to activate in our energy fields this week? Whoop! As the cards go flying. Emergence. Okay, so this one's come up a couple times, I feel like. Hi, Nancy. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you. Good morning. Happy Sunday. So this is the energies that we have to activate in our auras this week, our energy bodies, in order to get those high vibrational feelings, that love, joy, compassion, understanding, gratitude. These are all high flying energies, right? The card itself, it says the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality like from a childlike attitude of innocence. So just think about, for those of you that have children, try at some point in time this week, give it a try. Try to see the world through their eyes, through their experiences. As we say that, I don't know if you can hear my daughter yelling in the background. But yeah, just try to look at life in a different angle, at a different perspective, because we've spent our entire life up until this point as adults and children of ourselves looking through our eyes, right? But it's a matter of maybe changing the perspective enough to allow these other new vibrations to come in, because it's maybe our perspective, the way we've been looking at things, that isn't allowing it. Maybe it's blocking it in some way, right? And our children actually teach us more about ourselves than we could even really imagine, because we forget about these things. We forget about the adventure. We forget about the new experiences. Like they look at my daughter, she's 2, right? She looks at a flower and it's just the most amazing thing to her, like the petals and all of the intricacy of it, right? And I forget to look at a flower that way, with amazement, with excitement, with joy, and embracing what it really is, like the energy. She can tell the energies from it, and that's what attracts her to it, right? It's the beauty, it's the meaning that we give it almost, right? So that's what this card is basically inviting you to do, is to start looking through the eyes of a child. Maybe tap into your own inner child, and that this could very well be, I feel like it's almost like a call for tapping into that part of you that has been kind of closed off for a while, or that you just forgot about because you've been too busy being an adult, life and stuff getting in the way, right? But this is your invitation to go and step out of the role every once in a while. Maybe it's like 2 or 3 minutes in a day. Start there, right? Start somewhere. Okay, so the innocence and wonderment of a child, and watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. So just be more aware of it. Just when you see something that you've seen probably a million times and it's almost lost all meaning to you, become curious about it. I invite you to become curious about it and be like, why have I lost meaning about it, right? Flowers, garden, outside. I definitely, bees, ants. That's the thing. We go for walks. My daughter loves ants. She's not afraid of anything, which blows my mind because my son was the total opposite. But it's a beautiful thing to see through a 2-year-old's eyes, right? Maybe that's something that you can kind of tune into for your own energy this week and see what that brings out of you. Just kind of be curious about what feelings or energies or things that start to spark for you inside of you. That's cool. She's at the door. I'm running late. Okay. So I want to go in and tap in and we're going to get the animal of the week, the animal totem. And really just tune into that energy and the message that comes through. See what we have. See what comes through. Okay, here it is. Ooh, soar like an eagle. Woohoo! This is our animal for the week. My daughter's at the door. All right, so eagle sees opportunities courageously. So that's just it. Seize the opportunity to see the world through the eyes of a 2-year-old. If you can do that, you are going to find so much more joy, so much more compassion, so much passion, and you're going to bring out that excitement, that joy, those good high vibe feelings that's going to attract more things to feel that way about, right? So it's all about first emitting, like putting out the energies that you want to attract, right? Because we're so unconscious a lot of the times about what we're actually putting out. And then when we get things that come up in our path, we're like, I didn't ask for this. Didn't you? Didn't you put that out there? Right? And you got to realize that we are constantly doing this, either consciously or unconsciously at all times, right? So it's better to be more conscious, more aware of what you're putting out there. So then you know how things come into your reality, into your existence, into this game that we're playing in the planet Earth, right? So the eagle, let's tune into the eagle. I want to see what the message says in the book. Let's see what it says. Eagle. Okay. So the guidance of the eagle says this card is the visionary for anyone who focuses with clarity and awareness on the objective. So if you're focusing on the objective, you're going to start getting that clarity and that awareness, right? And it's basically using the energy of the eagle to channel that, right? So you are advised to be very clear about what you want to achieve and to manifest. View it from the most enlightened perspective. So the highest point, let yourself see things from a higher perspective, right? That's what the eagle does. The eagle flies high and it's able to see everything. Allow yourself to see everything that you're putting out there, the energies that are generating inside of you. Be aware of them, be conscious about them, and maybe try not to put them back on the back burner so much anymore, right? That's just basically it. Allowing yourself to be aware of it. That's it. So set the intention. See from the higher perspective so that the intention for this is for the highest good. Be watchful and aware of everything that is happening. Remain motivated so that you are ready to take action so that you can move fearlessly and tenaciously. Treat challenges and seemingly setbacks as opportunities to raise your game. And that's really what it is too. It's just raising your game. You're just going to a higher level of your energy body, right? You're dropping out what doesn't work, putting in more things that do work, and consciously doing the work. the work, right? So constantly remain calm, centered, and serene no matter what presents to you. When you do this, you will always stand in your power, and people will see your majesty and respect you and honor you in your vision. Be aware of your own divine splendor. Beautiful, right? Be more like an eagle. Tap into the childlike, eagle-like mannerisms that you can this week. See what you can get out of it. See the best that you can do, and be aware of those heavy things that you're carrying and where you're carrying them in your body so that you can let them go. And all you do is when you locate something in your body that you're like, that's kind of heavy, that does not feel very good, sit there and just fill it with love. That's it. It's calling for you to be aware of it. So just say, hey, I see you, I feel you, I love you, and I release you. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, wherever it is in your body, you just imagine white light, just fill it with white light, surround that area, whatever shape, whatever heavy, whatever texture it is, tune into it, be very familiar with what has been like holding you down, right? And just love it. And say thank you for serving a purpose. It served a purpose. It did something for you. It got you to this point. If anything, just to pay attention to what's going on in your body. That is it. All right. So I send you so much love, so much light, and I will see you again very, very soon. Mwah. Take care for now. Bye-bye.